before I begin, I'm going to be making very racist jokes. But my excuse is that I'm South African, so I can't really help it. It's like asking a Turkish guy to not abuse women. Asking a Chinese person to leave endangered animals alone. Or even asking an American to not get addicted to prescription medication. It's a big ask, but you've been warned. I make a lot of friends, like black friends, in Hamburg, but I always find dating to be quite hard because most of the black men that live in Germany come from West Africa, and that's such a big no-no where I'm from. Like, literally, my family would be more accepting if I were gay than they would be if I was dating a Nigerian or a Ghanaian, for example. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of had a big culture shock when I first came to Germany because I realized that German women find men from West Africa to be attractive. But then I thought about it for a bit and I was like, this actually kind of makes sense because like West African men are exotic, a lot of them are tall, they got muscles, like, etc. And German women on the other hand, they eat things like sauerkraut and sausages that are made from pig intestines, so they naturally have very strong stomachs and they put just about anything in their mouths. But as a more family-friendly alternative, I decided to date men that are half German and half West African because I wanted the best of both worlds, And by the best of both worlds, I mean a person who has the mind of a white man and the body of a black man, because I feel like the opposite combination would be such a shit show. But I noticed that like a lot of these mixed race guys tend to lean a bit too heavily on either side. They're either like too German or too African. There was this one guy I was talking to who listened to Schlager music and he literally posted unironic photos of himself wearing a lederhose. I was like, I wouldn't even date a white guy that's this German. It's just too much. And then there are these other mixed guys who are like way too African. They even have like an African accent when they speak. And it doesn't make sense to me because they grew up in Germany. I don't even sound African, and I'm literally from there. Yes. And like, I don't think they learned this accent from their African dad because we all know that that guy wasn't around when they were born. So the master is a master. And don't ask me about my dark past with white men. Because honestly, I feel like white men are too violent in bed. Like, can white people please explain, why do you choke each other during sex? Why do you pull each other's hair? Why do you smack each other? And even spit on each other sometimes? Like, I feel like white men are good at a lot of things, but sex just isn't one of them. Because honestly, like, their hips are just so stiff because they listen to techno or heavy metal, so they don't have that waist mobility that you need, And then, to further add to the caucasity, they can't even fuck you on the beat because they have no rhythm, That's the reason why they have to go to these like third world countries like the Philippines, Guatemala, to get some pussy because they literally have to like trick an impoverished, malnourished woman into fucking them. Like the master race just needs to stay home and masturbate. Speaking of masturbation, that's literally the main reason I became an atheist actually. I used to be Catholic. I know. And I took my religion very seriously. I was trying to be the best Christian that I could be. I used to read like Bible scriptures. I also do research online to try and understand why God wanted us to live life the way, like a certain way, I was a virgin. I didn't even have sexual thoughts. Like Because I read about, I watched a sermon by a preacher one time, and he said that even like thinking about sex is just as bad as having it. So I had no sexual thoughts at all. But don't get me wrong, I still rubbed my pussy. I just didn't have any sexual thoughts while doing it because I was like, oh, I found a loophole, you know. But then I found out later that no, like masturbation overall is a sin. You're not supposed to do it at all. And then I was like, no, this doesn't make any sense. I had my first scientific awakening. Because I was like, if God didn't want us to touch our privates, why did he put them at the perfect distance, at the perfect angle for us to do it ourselves? Like, why couldn't he put them in the middle of our upper back? Have you ever tried to scratch the middle of your upper back? You need to get someone else to do it for you, right? That's the perfect place to put a pussy. And I know what some of you guys are thinking, oh, but men will still be able to pull whatever from their backs. But the thing is, I don't really care if men go to hell. Okay, that's a bit whole.